How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to get going out here. First game as a Panther. Couldn't be more excited. So, got to make sure I prepare and slow down a little bit, though, right?
What do you mean slow down?
Well, with the first game, there's always a lot of energy, man. The players are out. They're excited to get playing in the first game. The coaches are excited. So we just got to make sure we slow down and do our job preparing. Let the game take care of itself.
How do you slow the players down when you have this anxiety, it seems like yourself?
I think breathing is important, right? I think sometimes we focus on our breathing and then we slow our breathing down and it'll be contagious to the rest of the week.
Does that mean we shouldn't expect a flea flicker or just like a Jedi mind trick?
Stay tuned.
Why not?
How do you do that, I mean, with Baker especially because of what it means to him playing this one team?
You know, Baker's a pro. He's been in the league a while now. He's gone through a lot in the league and he's gone through a lot in the college game. So, you know, just conversations with Baker is just let's focus on the particulars of preparing to play a game. You know, we all understand this is a professional environment, not a personal environment, and we'll just attack it that way. And he's been tremendous during the week.
When building your game plan, obviously the front is very important to what you're going to do, their defensive front. When you look at Jadeveon and Miles, the problems they present each and every play.
Yeah, I mean, they play a lot of wide nine techniques. They get up the field. They do a tremendous job getting after the quarterback, rushing the passer. They'll play in the defense and then they'll get creative at times. So they're two of the best you'll see in the game, and we certainly have to factor that into the way we play. And it's just not passing the football; they factor into the run game as well. You know, they're really good players.
Speaking of them, how do you prepare your rookie left tackle to go up against one of the best in the league?
Yeah, well, you know, obviously it's going to be a challenge for Icky, whether it's Miles or Mr. Clowney, but he's got to be ready at times to go block him by himself. But at the same point in time, he's not out there by himself, right? It takes a team, takes a good plan to put him in position to be successful. Icky's a guy that we drafted him for a reason. We have a lot of confidence in him as a player, but it's going to be a good matchup for us on Sunday.
Ben, how do you balance, Baker being a little bit of a gunslinger, wanting to make plays, and also not committing turnovers because turnovers were such a huge factor last year with this offense? How do you balance that with him? Not putting the handcuffs on him, but yet.
Yeah, we want to take care of the ball. The ball is king. That's a big part in winning and losing in this league. The thing I like to tell the quarterbacks is we got to be good decision makers. So if we make good decisions and don't turn the ball over because we make a bad decision, you're going to have a chance to have a good game, a good quarter, a good series, a good season, right? But if we make bad decisions and we turn the ball over that way, that's not smart quarterback play. Now, you're going to miss some throws, right? That's part of the game. If you miss a throw and there's a turnover, we just got to dust ourselves off. We got to clean it up and we got to go move on to the next series. But missing throws is a physical part of the game. But decision making, we got to be in control of the decision making.
What element how much freedom will you have to change calls in the line?
Say that one more time.
How much freedom will he have to make changes in the line, call audibles in the line?
Yeah, part of the offense depends on what type of tempo we're running at. There's some opportunities for him to make some adjustments. This is pro football, and like we talked about before, if I don't trust the quarterback in this offense, I don't trust myself. So we're in there every day talking about how we want to play, and we're teaching them how we want to play. And then we're giving them the ball and letting them go play, and we got to trust them to go out there and handle things based on what he sees, and we can't be chasing the perfect play out there, but we got to keep ourselves out of bad ones.
What elements does Christian McCaffrey bring to what you want to do as a coordinator that maybe you haven't had before?
Yeah, Christian is obviously he's a complete football player, right? He's not a complete running back, or he can do a lot of different things for you. And when you look at him, whether it's a guy, he can run between the tackles, he can run outside zone, you can get it to him on the perimeter in the run game, or you can throw it to him from a variety of different locations. And that's a nice piece to have in your offense. Guys like Christian don't grow on trees.
And what's the closest you've had to that before?
I've been around some good backs, going going a ways back. Most recently, Shane Vereen in New York, we had him. He had a really good year for us in 2015. He's a tremendous back, like Christian is, and there's some other guys I've been with just recently in Dallas. They had a handful of stable backs there in Dallas last year. I wasn't calling plays there, but some guys I really admire their skill sets and the way they work. And certainly Christian has a tremendous skill set to work with.
And a lot of people have been saying, hey, Baker can be good if Christian stays healthy. This offense can be good if Christian stays healthy. I know you don't want to depend on one guy, but when you hear that, what's your response?
If and buts, there's a saying out there, I think, right? So we're just going to play the game each one as it can. Each play tells, each play has a life of its own. It tells us each play has a life of its own, and you look at each play that way, and who's on the field and who's not on the field. You can't really worry about that too much, right? So we're just going to take each play as it comes, play each play, and then get ready for the next one. And injuries are a part of the game, and we're not going to spend a lot of time worrying about that. We have a good, stable group of backs, and we'll have a next man up mindset if it ever gets to that. But right now, we're looking forward to playing with Christian.
And on the topic of protecting the ball, on a day like Sunday where there's a lot of rain in the forecast, at what point does it impact play call?
Well, not yet, right? In my opinion, you always have to be ready for the elements and ready to handle the elements. But if you start, the weathermen, it's a good thing they're always right, you know what I mean? So maybe we should start planning that way. But I think that you have to put a plan together to go win the game, beat the opponent, and on the surface that you're going to play them. And I think that you have to have an offense that can be able to adjust to conditions when they do happen, and is flexible enough to adjust to conditions when they do happen. And we have that type of offense here. So when Sunday comes around, either way, rain or shine, we'll have a plan in place.
Pivoting back to the Browns defense, how would you describe their linebackers, specifically Anthony Walker and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah?
Yeah, they're bright players, right? They're very bright. They have hair triggers. They play quickly. They like to run through gaps. They're kind of a dip and rip type group where they'll give you a small surface and try to get skinny through the gap. But they're good players. They're smart players, and they got a good group there.
What challenges do they specifically present to the offense and when they do those things that you said, when they do them well?
Yeah, I mean, we got to be ready for these guys to run through gaps on us, okay? That's one thing right there. And, in coverage, they can play it a variety of different ways. They have a good skill group in the secondary, right, safety-wise, and linebackers. It gives them some flexibility there where they don't always have to have linebackers covering backs and safeties covering tight ends. They can flip-flop those things around.
How much is this season starting, reestablishing who you are as a coach, play caller, and what led you to become a head coach one time?
For me, the biggest thing this week is it's not about me, right? It's about the players. So number one for me is I want to go out and make sure, as a staff, we do what we can to put the players in position to be successful. So that's number one. And that's really all I'm thinking about right now. I don't think about myself a whole hell of a lot. My wife may disagree, but
What would she say?
the opposite probably.
Anything else for Coach?
I was going to ask, the excitement that you expressed as you sat down this morning, how much of that is rooted in what you've seen this offense can be?
Yeah, I think we're an offense that I have high expectations for. Our standards are high. We want to come out. We want to play physical and heavy-handed. We want to play with tremendous effort. We want to be good teammates and take care of each other. We got to come together, and I do have high standards for this offense. I expect us to come out and execute this weekend, and I want us to get better as the season goes on. Never be happy, and always keep chasing, getting better.
You have a lot of receivers on the 53. How many would you anticipate being part of the rotation?
That's a good question. We have a lot of guys that I'm very, very confident in. I don't want to give anything away at this point in time. That's a better question for Coach.
How's Laviscus come along in the very short amount of time you've had him?
Yeah, he's learning. It's a lot to learn. There are some things that he's heard in the past that have helped him, but he's working early and he's working late at studying and getting some help that way. He's got a lot of guys helping him, whether it's players in the locker room, quarterbacks in the locker room, coaches, and He's immersed himself in it. He's studying it hard. He's working through it, and we'll see how the rest of the week goes there.
Hey Ben, DJ Moore has been really productive, especially over the last 3 years here. One area that he hasn't done a lot is touchdowns. He's never had more than 4 touchdowns in the season. How big of a factor do you feel like he will be in the red zone in that area?
Yeah, touchdowns are hard to score. They're hard to get. So we're just gonna, go out here and prepare. And I'm not making any promises to any fantasy people. I don't need that in my life. So we certainly want DJ to score as much as he can possibly score. But we'll practice and see how it goes on Sunday.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.